This is the John Brown Alliance, where we don't fear, we fight. And we sure as hell don't clock out. Tonight, I did not want to make this video. I really didn't, and it has taken a long time for me to come to this. Before I say anything, it's going to get deep. And hopefully it will be brief, because I have other issues that I have to address. But, you know, every time I turn on the TV, it's something different. So if you could, please like and subscribe to this video. If you don't want to, I understand. But please at least watch it through, because this country is in absolute peril. Yesterday, while you slept or went on about your daily business, on Fox News, one of their anchors advocated for people that are homeless to submit to involuntary lethal injections to rid them of being part of this society. This is where we are. Nobody on MSNBC or CNN broadcasted this yesterday that I know about. And the only reason I found out about it is because somebody who is less disgusted than me told me this information. And it was my mother. Now, she puts MSNBC on the television in our house so that she can tell me what was said. When I heard what was said, I was flabbergasted. Hours later, we still have MSNBC and CNN black shaming, brown shaming, and red shaming people into playing into this whole thing about Charlie Kirk. They spent less time on the fact that every single moment someone associated with Stephen Miller, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump, or anyone else in MAGA gets on television and says that the left is the problem is with the left is the problem, and they repeat that thing over and over again. And what I have to say to MSNBC is stop it. But mostly, I was disappointed so much in Al Sharpton and other contributors. But I'm going to get back to them. What I will say right now is most of the black population around Washington, D.C. and Maryland has unsubscribed to the Washington Post and no longer watch MSNBC or CNN. Not because of anything other than the John Brown Alliance. Every time we go out in the street, we make people aware that what they're watching is garbage. So I'm going to get back to this thing with the MSNBC. For 3 days now, 3 days, Reverend Al Sharpton, who I used to think was a good person, gets on television and black shames over and over and over again, talking about how we can't be, celebrating as if we are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Now, I'm not going to get up on here and tell you in any way that I am anti-violence. When I am for races that inhabit the United States right now. I am Native American. I am white. I am black. And I am Latino. What I have to say to them is, how dare you? First of all, MSNBC does not speak for me. CNN does not speak for me. So people like Al Sharpton, Malcolm Nance, and Steve Schmidt do not get to speak for me. You do not define me. You do not tell me what to do. As for races on this continent, I am a culmination of all the good and evil that is the United States of America. And I don't deny that. But I have a problem with people making me a monolith. I have a problem with people just stating that every black person that is black, that is mixed with white, was raped. That was not the case in my case. My being Latino did not come from illegal immigration. It came way before white people had colonies. My being black did not come only through slavery. It came from West Coast immigration and something that happened before 1492. My being Native American inhabits most of my blood. Regardless of whether I'm a Democrat or I'm a socialist, does not give people like Al Sharpton and other civil rights leaders to speak on my behalf and say the word we. You decide what you want to say on the air. You decide you want to become a constant puppet of the Trump regime. You decide you want to play into the narrative. You don't speak for me. How dare you? There is a new window on its way. Blow clean or blow away. If you have to defend your job on MSNBC, that's on you. If you need to defend some position you have in government, that's on you. If you want to take comfort in the exact same rhetoric that enslaved black people and Native Americans, that's on you. With people who keep apologizing when they were not responsible for the death of Charlie Kirk are doing, what they're doing is creating an avenue to be the culprit. By the time you wake up tomorrow, the Democratic Party will be classified as a homegrown terrorist organization because MSNBC and CNN continues to facilitate bowing down to the rhetoric. They continue to apologize for hate. They continued to excuse Donald Trump. And just like they did when they held the presidency, the House of Representatives, and the Senate, they are still playing the we go high, they go low game. This is where the John Brown Alliance and people who support us call this a sinking ship. We're jumping off. If you have to do something for yourself, because that's all it's about right now. My first alliance is to the very people that have protected my life since I was involved with the American Indian movement in 1990 something. My last alliance is to civil rights leaders trying to keep their jobs on CNN. Every fiber of my being calls on my genetic memory. When I see ICE, I see slave catchers. When I see black apologists on MSNBC, I see house Negroes. When I see politicians afraid to speak out, I see the very people that were lynched in southern cities throughout the United States. I don't have stories. I don't need to read American history. And I don't need for Donald Trump to erase my history. Unlike you who are bending the knee to Donald Trump, every single day is Black History Day. Every month is Native American Heritage Month. Every time I see a Latino, I see myself. And in every dickhead, like the Mormons and wealthy rich people, I see my ancestors who cast out their black, red, and brown children that they had through rape, incest, or other means. When I'm done with this video, I'm going to show you another video. And I'm sure I'm going to be blacklisted for it. Death might come, just like Donald Trump says, to every person who opposes them. I meet that death with a greater force that none of them have. I fear nothing. I placate to nothing. I owe no one anything. And when you have that power and that courage, you don't need to fear. You don't need to get on TV and apologize. You don't need to do like Ari Melber and do a prescribe to what you're about to say because you don't want to be misunderstood. When you're right and you have courage of conviction, you don't apologize for your speech. You don't need a preamble to what you're about to say. You don't need to hide from people that want to kill you. You just keep on doing it. You know why? Because in the end, just like Martin Luther King, John Lewis, and John Brown, every single time you will be remembered in history. Not the people that did what they did in the name of Christianity and patriotism to put you down. So in closing, let me say this. I don't know where this country is going, and I don't care. I know where I'm going and why I'm here. And you need to make that same decision for yourself. In the meantime, keep the state of Maryland, the people of Maryland, and all of those who defend democracy out of your fucking mouth. If you are any member of so-called legacy news, you do not represent us, you do not tell us what to do, and you do not support us in the way we need to be supported. Now I'm going to give a couple of shout outs tonight, and I want to dispel a myth about Paul Lance. He is on YouTube, but he is not a racist. He is not anti anything black. I'm just really sick of this. There are a lot of leaders out here. Get off MSNBC and CNN. Those channels are poison now. Please. If you're an elected official and you want to listen to your constituency, you need to tune in to independent media. This is the John Brown Alliance. When you see something wrong, do something right.